Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Anantadev, Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Anantadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
तुमा बिना के दयालो जगत संसारे
तुमा बिना के दयालो जगत संसारे
तुमा बिना के दयालो जगत संसारे तुमा पतित पावना हेतु तव अवतार पतित पावना हेतु तव अवतार मुसमा पतिता प्रभु न पाइबे आरा
मुसमा पतिता प्रभु न पाइबे आरा
महाप्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी
महाप्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी
कृपा बोलो काना करो आमी बड़ो दुखी कृपा बोलो काना करो आमी बड़ो दुखी दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई
दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई
तव कृपा बले पाय चैतन्य निताय
तव कृपा बले पाय चैतन्य निताय
महाप्रभु सनातन रूप रघुनाथ महास्वरूप
सनातन रूप रघुनाथ
बट जुगा श्री जीवा प्रभु लोकनाथ
भट्ट जुगा श्री जीवा प्रभु लोकनाथ
दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास
दया करो श्री आचार्य
रामचंद्र संग मांगे नरोत्तम दास
रामचंद्र संग
श्री चैतन्य दया करो मोरे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य दया करो मोरे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय Prabhupada Jaya Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Gaura
Yashomati Nandana Vrajavaru Nagara
Yashomati Nandana Rajavaranagara
Gokula Ranjana Kana Gokula
Ranjana Gana
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidana Kaliya Damana Amala Hari Nam Amiya Vilasa Amala Hari Amiya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bora Vipina Purandara Bamshi Badana Suvasa Bamshi Badana Braja Jana Palana Asur Kula Nashana Braja Jana Palana Nanda Godana Rakovala Nanda Godana Rakovala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Basanahara Yamuna Tatachara Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Bhakti Vinodasraya Bhakti Vinodasraya Bhakti Vinodasraya Bhakti Vinodasraya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari, Gaura Hari. Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari, Giridhari. Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari, Giridhari Gaura Hari. Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila
Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा। श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा। बंदो मोहि सावधान माते बंदो मोहि सावधान माते जाहर प्रसादे भाई ए भवतरिया जाय। जाहर प्रसादे भाई ए भवतरिया जाय। कृष्ण प्राप्ति है जहाँ होते कृष्ण प्राप्ति है जहाँ होते गुरुमुखा पद्मा वाक्या चित्ते ते कोरिया क्या। गुरुमुखा पद्मा वाक्या चित्ते ते करिब क्या। आर ना करी हो मने आशा आर ना करी हो मने आशा। श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति। ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा। ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा। चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से। चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से। दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ है ते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ है ते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाय जहाँ रचरित वेदे गाय जहाँ रचरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हे बेजास घुसुक त्रिभुवाना हे बेजास घुसुक त्रिभुवाना जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti, text number 39 and also 40. So both of them are in similar lines. So we will study both of them. Nyayam shobhyashyate tatra ete danim gadadara tvatpaderankita bhati swalakshana vilakshitai. Nyayam shobhyashyate tatra ete danim gadadara त्वत्पदैरङ्किता भाति स्वलक्षणविलक्षितये नेयं शोभिष्यते तत्र यथेदानीं गदाधर 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 त्वत्पदैरङ्किता भाति स्वलक्षणविलक्षितये. Mataji's. यथेदानीं गदाधर तत्पदैरङ्किता भाति स्वलक्षणविलक्षितये. Okay, word to word meaning. No, not iyam, this land of our kingdom, shobhishyate, will appear beautiful, tatra, then, yata, as it is now, idanim, how, gadadhara, O Krishna, tvat, your, padaihi, by the feet, ankita, marked, bhati, is dazzling, swalakshana, your own marks, vilakshitai, by the impressions. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. O Gadadhara Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so. Purport. There are certain particular marks on the feet of the Lord which distinguish the Lord from the others. The marks of flag, thunderbolt, and instrument to drive an elephant, umbrella, lotus, disc, etc. are on the bottom of the Lord's feet. These marks are impressed upon the soft dust of the land where the Lord traverses. The land of Hastinapur was thus marked while Lord Krishna was there with the Pandavas, and the kingdom of Pandavas thus flourished by such auspicious signs. Kunti Devi pointed out these distinguished features and was afraid of ill luck in the absence of the Lord. So we will read the next, this one also. Ime janapatas svraddha supakvaushadi viruda vanadri nadya udanvato hyedanthe tava vikshitai. All the cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. All this is, and this is all due to your glancing over them. Purport. The human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of people in general. All the few only can live lavishly by exploitation. The natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, and the hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. And as he desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitive attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, and then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river water fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. In the human civilization, if the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprise at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. The indications by Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Ptitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So these set of shlokas, this is from Kunti Maharani's prayers to Lord Krishna. So these two shlokas contain a similar kind of theme. So that is, till the time Krishna is present, the kingdom will be beautiful, and till the time Krishna's lotus feet imprints are there in the kingdom will be beautiful. And then also it is mentioned that till the time the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is there, all the cities and villages, they'll be flourishing in all respects. They will be having sufficient herbs, grains, and then fruits, and then like nice minerals and wealth. All of these things will be there. So this is like two things that actually come to my memory. So one is Bhagavat Bhakti Heenasya Jati Shastri Japa Tapa Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. So without Bhagavad Bhakti, like all other processes like karma, no, jnana, yoga, and all the other processes, so they will lose its life. No, so they don't produce the results, no, what they are intended to produce. So this one we can see. No, Bhagavad Bhakti is the central life-giving factor, no, for all these things. And then, no, we have another shloka in the same lines from like Narada Muni and Vyasadev's conversation. So there it is mentioned about Naishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam nashobhanam jnanamalam niranjanam kutab punashashvadabhadramishvare nacharpitam karma yadapya karanam. So this is knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of conception of infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? So here also it has been substantiated that even material activities, within the bounds of like Varnashrama Dharma, so even they will actually produce results, or they will become functional only if there is Bhagavad Bhakti. If Bhagavad Bhakti is not there, the functionality of, they will not function at all. So it is true in terms of the processes of different yoga systems. So like if Bhagavad Bhakti is there, so then they actually function. And then it is true in terms of the practical natural resources and things like that. So if there is Bhagavad Bhakti is there, then automatically, there is a lot of nice flourishing. So as it is mentioned here, so everything flourishes very nicely. So if Bhagavad Bhakti is not there, or if the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not there, so then everything becomes like, we will not get sufficient output from the material nature. So this, in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, we have a story of King Vena, where King Vena was like very, very atrocious, and he was performing adharma. And then the natural resources were retracted. So the next king was King Prithu. And when he took charge, the natural resources were not there. So that time, there was King Prithu inquired from Mother Earth, why are you not producing the natural resources? And Mother Earth replied, because there is no devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So why will I produce? So like the whole system, like be it the practical system or the yoga system, so whatever may be the systems, all systems get their life from Bhagavad Bhakti. So without Bhagavad Bhakti, we cannot perform any activities. We cannot perform karma, we cannot perform jnana, we cannot perform any of the activities without Bhagavad Bhakti. So this is the core central principle. And in the first shloka that we saw, that is 39th shloka, we saw that specific mention about the Supreme Lord's lotus feet imprints. So and it is mentioned about that. So the Lord's lotus feet contains marks like like flag, thunderbolt, an elephant goad, and umbella, lotus disc, etc. So these are all there. So like we have in many places, like the Lord's lotus feet, this one is kept. In one of our centers, also we made Lord's lotus feet imprint, right in the entrance, so that devotees can, like take blessings of the Lord and, go inside. So this is very, very auspicious. These marks are very auspicious. And when it is impressed upon the dust of the, of the kingdom, so then it is naturally, it is very much auspicious. And it is mentioned the land of Hastinapur was thus marked with Lord Sri Krishna, marked with the marks of Lord Sri Krishna. And because of that, it flourished, So very, very much it has flourished. And Kunti Devi is pointing out that if Lord were to leave the place and go, so then ill luck will be there, and because of the absence of the Lord. So now, during the presence of the Lord, like if the Lord physically moves apart, so then it is there. So now to Krishna has wound up the pastimes long back. So now what will be the position of us? So then we should understand that how we can actually have the presence of the Lord. So presence of the Lord can be had by constantly chanting the names of the Lord, or reciting His glorification, or rendering service to Him. So Nama Rupa Guna Leela. So these are the ways in which we can actually access the Lord. These are the ways in which we can actually bring about the presence of the Lord. So if the presence of the Lord is there, so then naturally everything will be flourishing. And in the next shloka, it is in the text 40, it is spoken about like how these natural resources are flourishing. And Srila Prabhupada talks, in he contrasts between the current day occupational duties, that is Ugra Karma, with the natural occupational duties or the Vedic occupational duties, that is Varnashrama Dharma. So he actually compares and contrasts between these two things. And one may say, okay, if the natural resources are to be, that is the basis. Like industrial advancement will not actually give us food. Finally we have to eat grains. So then what is the situation of the people who are there in the village? People who are trying to do cultivation and cow protection and things like that. So that is also in very difficult situation only. So you ask any farmer, any villager, so these days they tell that it is quite, especially in the south portion. So like many villages are becoming dry, and not sufficient water and things like that. So it is all by the mercy of social media. So like mobiles and all these things have entered in deep regions, and rather than people being devotionally attached, so they are spending their time in non-devotional things. So because of which naturally the natural resources will deplete. So this is this one. In Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned that Annan Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanyo Anna Sambhavat Yajnat Bhavati Parjanyo Yajna Karma Samudbhava. So you get food grains by rains, and you get Annat Bhavanti Bhutani. So we all subsist by food grains. So main thing that we need is food grains. In fact, Prabhupada used to mention that in the Vedic times, the real wealth was food grains. People used to have a good stock of food grains. And then food grains means it also would, you can cultivate and get as much of grains from the land, sarva kama dugha. So the land can produce as much as food grains as possible. And then food grains also you cannot store for ages and ages. You have to consume it at certain time. And because of that, people were also charitable. And charity is again a pious activity. So if you perform a pious activity, then again a lot of opulence will be there. So then when the standardization of money was done, and in terms of paper notes and things like that, then people started accumulating. So the whole disease of accumulation actually started there. And the circulation is also been hampered because of that. And we see that the charity and things like that also kind of goes down. So but when the real wealth was like cows and grains and things like that, so people were quite charitable also. And because they were doing charity, so they were much more opulent than the current day and age. So I remember of one in our language, Tamil language, when we were small, in the school, so we used to have some glorifications or poetries. So this was a poet is glorifying the opulence of a kingdom, and he's glorifying the opulence of the kingdom, saying that one of the things that he mentions, many things he mentions that, so one is that if the rain water falls on the head of an elephant, it turns into a jewel, so that means the king is pious, something like that. So that is there. And one more opulence, I just vaguely remember, is that a household lady, she is taking care of spreading the grains and drying the grains and things like that. And when some birds come to eat that, now she is removing her golden ornament and throwing it off, just to scare the bird. So this shows the opulence of this one. Like just to show off the bird, she is throwing a golden ornament. So like that much of opulence, people actually had. So now, why is this like our villages or our present day situation is that so much of daridrata is actually there. So much of scarcity or so much of less of opulence is there. So why is it so? The central principle is we have gone away from this God consciousness. So in the past, people's entertainment was Harikatha and dramas on Krishna Leela and Ram Leela and things like that. So these were the central point of entertainment. So everybody would go to their fields and they would perform their work. And there also they would sing Hari Kirtan and things like that. So this was a common affair. It's a common thing that was actually happening. And people had a lot of gratitude towards the Lord. They were dependent on rains. They were dependent on the natural things. And they know it is God's gift. So if I don't worship the Lord, if I don't pay my gratitude to the Lord, so then these things may be stopped. So now when it is termed as natural resources, and these resources are meant for my enjoyment, so then it becomes, exploitative mood actually comes. So when exploitative mood comes, so then it becomes quite difficult, for us to, the nature will start, reacting to that exploitation. So let's read this purport. It's a very wonderful purport. Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of noble aims of human life. So the whole basis of gigantic industrial enterprise is it springs from a godless civilization. The whole central point is, so why it is called as godless civilization? So why the core foundation of the modern industrial enterprise is based on godless civilization or godlessness. So it is because, first and foremost, in the Vedic system, if you see, everything that people do, so they would budget a time for God consciousness. Without budgeting time for God consciousness, so then the whole process will not produce its result. So that is that first sloka that we discussed, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya, Jati Shastra Japa Tapa, that one, and then Naishkarmyam Api Achyuta Bhava Varjitam. So this is be it jnana or karma or whatever may be the process one may be following. So they would budget for Bhagavad Bhakti. So without Bhagavad Bhakti, they would not perform any of the things. So now why do they perform Bhagavad Bhakti? If I want to do Karma Yoga, so why do I have to perform Bhagavad Bhakti? Because they know this Karma Yoga is a process given by the Lord, and if I include it with Bhakti, then only Karma Yoga will produce its result. And even a person who is a farmer or somebody who is doing his occupational duty, as a farmer, so he knows that if I have to sow the seed, water, so then after that, if Lord's grace is there, I will get a good crop. So that is there. So because of that, they would always do Bhagavad Bhakti. So now the modern industrial, this one is that there is natural resources are there. तो किसने बनाया उसको? So ऐसे ही पढ़ा है, So and even if there is a God, he didn't know how to actually manipulate the natural resources, बना के छोड़ दिए. So it is our intelligence, which is actually making it, transforming it into meaningful products. And then for the purpose of, what is the purpose? Purpose is to keep ourselves comfortable and satisfactory, right? So this is the purpose for which, the whole thing is, origin is unknown. Origin of all the resources around us is unknown. And purpose of all the resources is sense gratification. So this is what is this one, the beginning and end is wrong in the modern industrial, this one. because it springs from godlessness. And the Vedic system is, beginning they understand all these things are created by the Supreme Lord. And then, so for what purpose it is created? So because there is a purpose, there is a greater purpose of advancing in Krishna consciousness. And for that purpose, these things are there. And we have to just utilize as much as it is necessary for us to function in this world. And we should plan to actually go back to spiritual world. So plan to cultivate our Krishna consciousness. So this is the purpose for which it has been actually given. So now, so when the purpose is sense gratification, then it becomes like the natural resources are like not sufficient. So if sense gratification is the purpose, so we cannot, if everybody like goes on a high levels of sense gratification, so we will deplete all the natural resources within a short time. Like maybe 300-400 years or 500-600 years, everything will be finished. The whole, already like people are talking about global warming and ozone layer depletion and stuffs like that. So these things are because of the exploitation of natural resources for sense gratification. So it is given for a certain purpose, just like that. From yesterday, we were traveling in the train, from Jagannath Puri to Bangalore. So when we are coming, so there is a limited facility that is there. So limited space that is there to sleep, and limited facility is there, to operate. So, but if we want to create facility like our home, so we have at least each person on an average has 100 to 150 square feet. So utna space lenge, to baki logon ko kya hoga? The resources will not be sufficient. So the train bogie is made for a particular purpose, and you have to use only that much of space. So you cannot lavishly be there in that place. In the same way, our lavish living is there in the Vaikuntha. So in Vaikuntha there is desire tree is there, and there is Kamadhenu is there, and there is like ample, like all facilities are there. So there we can actually live our lavish life. But here we should live in such a way that bare minimum we should just take, and we should proceed towards advancing in Krishna consciousness. So if we try to expand our sense gratification or facilities for sense gratification, then it is not going to be sufficient. The natural resources are not going to be sufficient. So the more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of people in general. Although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation. So now you see, the squeezing out the vital energy of human being, it is mentioned. So in the Vedic system, everything is nicely budgeted. For an ordinary citizen, he is there. He is having a particular kind of an occupation. So his occupation is budgeted in such a way that he has to get the job done. Whatever job is there, he has to get the job done. And on top of it, he also needs to give a quality time to the family and maintain the family. And top of it, he also needs to perform quality devotional service. So all of it is actually taken care. And king actually monitors that he is doing all his duties properly or not. So king and other administrative people, so they actually monitor all these things. Why they have to monitor? Somebody performs devotion or not. How does it matter? So it is his personal affair. So why should the government monitor all these things? So because government's duty, what is the government's duty? Government's duty is to ensure there is sufficient natural resources are there. Sufficient water resources are there. Sufficient facilities are there for the people. And when will all these facilities be there? So facilities will be there if there is punya is there. If the Lord's grace is there, then these facilities will be there. So when will the Lord's grace is there? When everybody follows dharma. And what is dharma? Dharma means, one should follow, an ordinary citizen means one should follow his karma dharma, one should follow his jnana dharma, and one should follow his bhakti dharma. If anything deficient in this, so then it affects in the kingdom itself. The king will not be able to ensure that the whole of the region is prosperous. So because of that, everything was nicely monitored. So it's king's duty to see that everyone actually chant the names of the Lord, everyone actually offers bhoga to the Lord, everyone actually observes Ekadashi and things like that. It is all the job of a king, to actually ensure all these things are there. So right now, in the absence of that, like we are going and begging to people that chant the names of Lord, follow these principles and things like that. So it is, like sometimes, preachers also think that, okay, maine to bata diya, like, if he follows, doesn't follow, it is his problem. If he doesn't follow, it is our problem also, because, overall, like, if he, commits a sin, if other fellow beings of this one, they commit sin, तो like आपको पानी नहीं मिलेगा, आपको like sufficient grains नहीं मिलेगा, so the overall collective karma of the region actually creates the like effect on the natural resources, so like in this way, like it is, preaching is very, very essential, convincing people that everything that exists is God's property and everything should be utilized in the God's service. So if you don't want to utilize everything like the renunciants, but at least like give some portion of this one in God's service, and so in this way, like we should actually do the like we should actually preach to people so that the overall sanity of the whole environment actually comes up, right? And the natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers and hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. And as he desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. So all these things are, regulation is there. So just like, somebody may say like, I'm just making a good profit in my business. So why should why should the government regulate these things? So like, why should how much ever profit I make, I have to give income tax, So government regulation is there, and certain businesses, like you cannot go beyond a certain level, it is regulated. So why that kind of regulation is there? Because like the government is the one who is in charge of the economic circulation and things like that. So in the same way, the Lord is in charge of Yogakshemam. He is in charge of fulfilling the needs and necessities of all the living entities, and he has direct control over the natural resources. And if he desires, things can be produced in abundance, and if he wants, it can be restricted also. So when the people are law-abiding citizens, when they are abiding by the natural laws, so then the material nature produces in abundance. And when we break the natural laws, then the material nature actually retracts or stops producing. The natural law is that human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man, okay, so here we see that when we get into the exploitative motive, so then immediately, there is reduction of the natural resources. And Prabhupada is mentioning that when there is sufficient supply of grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, so then why should a person actually take support of slaughterhouse or killing the poor animals? So, like meat eating, actually, it is, the root of meat eating is envy. So like envy means like there is, when does envy comes? Like if two people are there and they have to share some resource and one person gets like little more, so then the other person envies, So why did he get more than like what I have? So or even sometimes the envy also comes that key like I got the better share, the other person has got the smaller share. So the envy comes, why should he get even smaller also? Full thing should come to me only. So like this is also another kind of an envy. So like, this is the poor animals, they also actually live in the nature, God-given facility. So everybody has the right to live. So but then, if the living beings become envious, So then they actually kill the poor animals and exploit them for their own satisfaction. And when such things happen, no, it is the bad karma, no, actually increases. No, one for the bad karma increases for that person, so he has to suffer. And it also contributes to the collective karma of a particular place. So like if the place becomes sinful, like then everybody who's residing in that place, so will also become sinful, no, will also have to face the reaction. So this is like in many places, no, we have seen that if there is an offense committed by a devotee, like or a person, so then he suffers. And if an offense is happening, and if somebody doesn't retaliate that offense, so then he also, like just by being an observer of that offense, he also becomes liable, no, for that offense. No, he also has to suffer the reaction of that offense. No, for example, there is one person called, I think, Ramchandra Khan. So he offended Haridas Thakur. So then later on he happened to offend Nityananda Prabhu. And because of one person's offense, the whole village, no, had to face a serious trouble. So but there were some people like who immediately took note of it and immediately criticized, saying that no, this is wrong. No, it should not be done in this way. So then they got saved from the reactions of the offense. No? So in the same way, like if there is if we have to practice Krishna consciousness, so like if we alone practice Krishna consciousness, that is not sufficient. No, because people around are not following the principles properly. So then at least we should go and tell what you're following is wrong, and you should be, this is the right thing. No, what is given in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is right thing. No, you follow. So like what you're doing is wrong. At least this much if you tell, you will not get the sin of this. And otherwise, if you just see somebody is doing wrong and then you don't it is not that we become very arrogant or something like that. No, we tell them that this is the right way to live and this is the right procedures to do. So when we do that, so then we become saved from the sinful reactions, right? So it is very, very essential to preach the message of Krishna consciousness. So without preaching the message of Krishna consciousness, we cannot even make slight advancement in Krishna consciousness. Even to keep ourselves protected. So this is very essential actually. So a man is not in need of an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river waters fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprise at the cost of labor of some unfortunate men? So this is terrible industrial enterprise means it is the another expression for Ugra Karma. So I was just recently reading this book called Light of Bhagavat. It is a very nice book. So here also there was a mention about this particular thing. I'll just read one small portion from this book. It is very nice, this one. So it is 37th text. This book is basically Light of Bhagavat book is Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 20th chapter. So description of the rainy season and the autumn season. So these two seasons are described. And by seeing the effects of these two seasons, there are many, many nice analogies are derived and many nice principles are given. So text 37 of this particular chapter, 10th canto, 20th chapter, has been put in a form of an analogy. So with the inauguration of the autumn season, the rough sea becomes calm and quiet, just like a philosopher after self-realization who is no longer troubled by modes of nature. So the result of self-realization is cessation of storms of desire and lust, which produces the mode of ignorance, which are products of the mode of ignorance and passion. The cessation of storm does not mean that sea becomes inactive. When the storm subsides, the work of navigation can take place smoothly. So the three modes of nature divide human activities into two different spheres. One is external, another is introspective or internal. As long as man is dominated by mode of ignorance and passion, he is active externally, in desire and lust, kama and krodha, so like or desire and lust. So men absorbed in desire and lust are called asuras, and they are always chasing after women and money. For the sake of women and money, the asuras exploit every source of economic development. As a result of this asuric civilization, the entire human society becomes like a stormy sea with no trace of peace and prosperity. Too much of external view of the world gives rise to an overly large scale and difficult type of industry and trade known as ugra karma. The word ugra means hard or difficult. Karma means task. The development of hard and difficult industrial undertakings always hinder the progressive cultivation of human spirit. Asuric leaders of society never retire from such lustful undertakings unless killed by the laws of nature. For them, there is no question of retirement or of cultivation of human spirit. But men in mode of goodness have an introspective mind, and after a regulative struggle for existence, they retire at a ripe old age and engage their time in cultivating the human spirit. According to Varnashrama principle, it is compulsory that one retire after the age of 50 without considering other circumstances. Business offices close at a fixed hour no matter whatever balance of work remains. Similarly, after the age of 50, one must retire for the active external life and devote oneself to introspective cultivation of human spirit. The retirement must be compulsory so that foolish old men will no longer disturb the peaceful progress of spiritual culture. In the modern democratic government, no one should be elected after the age of 50, otherwise the storm of ocean of nations cannot be stopped to allow the ship and boats to sail back to God. The greatest enemies of progressive spiritual culture in human society are the old fossils of political parties who are blind themselves and who try to lead other blind men. They bring about disaster in a peaceful human society. The members of younger generation are not as stupid as the old politicians, and therefore, by state law, the foolish old politicians must retire and act from the active life at the age of 50. So now, okay, so here, this portion, it actually spoke about the Ugra Karma. So Ugra Karma means like the understanding of life is all about how to actually maximize our material profit. So for that, I have to work more time in the material, this one. And so like nowadays we see that 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours and things like that, people are actually working. So this is, this is technically called as Ugra Karma or hard work. So hard work, without budgeting the time for other things. So like basically, we have different kinds of responsibilities. All of us have taken. So some of you all are family men, some of you are going to enter into family, or some of them are like renunciants and things like that. So based on the responsibility that we have taken, we have to justify each and every responsibility by quality time, giving quality time and giving quality this one for that. And also like we have the responsibility to repay our debt to the Supreme Lord. So we are taking so much of natural resources and like things like that. So for that, bhakti is the way of repaying that. And then we have to repay to the various different parties. And bosses, our office and boss is also one of the party. And he cannot be the major party. He has to be one of the parties, right? So like work has to be also budgeted. Time of the work also has to be budgeted. So it should not be too much. So then, okay. So if human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewel, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprise at the cost of labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. The indications by Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires the God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. So this is like acknowledging that everything natural that we are getting is by the grace of the Lord, and then offering back properly, whatever is needed to be offered back to the nature. So that should also be done. So it is like, sometimes, we see, this kind of thing, like, if there is a particular, this Ardha Kukuti Nyaya we have heard, like where a hen is there, which gives eggs and which also eats, through its mouth. So the back portion of the hen gives eggs, that's profitable, and then the front portion is expenditure, which is like taking in, so much of food. So a very intelligent person thought, I will cut the hen into two, so expense portion can be thrown off, and only the profitable portion can be kept. So the profitable portion is the back portion which gives egg, and that also died. So like the whole hen is one unit actually. So in the same way, we see that if we separate out, or if we don't repay our debt to the Supreme Lord, or repay our debt to the natural setting which the God has given, so then it is just we are destroying the whole setup actually. So now, just for an example, like we are buying a bottle of water, like how much does a 1 liter bottle of water cost? 15 or 20 rupees, So like 20 rupees. Now, do you think this 20 rupees has justified its, means like it is a justified price for that water? So previously people were getting free water, na? Abhi to like 20 रुपए दे रहे हैं हम लोग, तो बहुत costly है ना? It's costly, right? So when we are having water at free, like how we were getting water, free water? Okay, pure. Okay, so pure water, from where we get pure water? Rivers, and we used to have wells, So like, and then, so first and foremost, people performed Krishna bhajan, and because of that, like, no rains were there, and because of that, wells were full of water and things like that. So now, slowly, maximum people are not doing any devotional service, any bhakti, no bhakti is there in this one. So then automatically natural resources will deplete. That is this one. Another thing is, like, people had sufficient land, also sufficient land and sufficient resources were there where water can actually seep in, So now we see that, like, we put tar and cement everywhere, and then we ensure that water doesn't go inside, but only we extract water, whatever remaining water is there underneath, right? So this is also there. This is also an issue. So now, in many places, what we are supposed to, it is like a nice thing that has been given to us, which if it is maintained, it will keep on producing, for long period of time. But then we destroy it. Like, rather than utilizing a little bit, we actually extract too much, and then we destroy the whole system. And if so now, like, all of you might have heard that Bangalore is also going to become dry after some time. So like, what is the plans? Like, what will the government do if the Bangalore becomes completely dry? Import water. So then what else they will do? Just abandon the city, and then next flourishing place, just make the capital there, and like, so make full industrial enterprise over there, So if you all know, like those of you who know the history of Bangalore, maybe like 30, 40 years, 50 years before, it was one of the like richest, means like in terms of water and in terms of cultivation and natural resources, it was like heavily greener area, So now we are talking about it is becoming like dry completely, It is, what is that? Highly rich with water actually, So this place, that is why, the development started happening, because water resources there, that is why the development starts happening. And after we exploit sufficiently, so then water resources are completely gone. So then what will happen? So then either you, nowadays, like, what is it? We live a little bit, our Whitefield land is there, a little bit off Bangalore. So there we find a lot of people actually put bore, and then they take water and they, put tractor and supply in the city. And many of these bores, like strategic points, where the strategic points of these bores are, can you think? Where are those bore points? Huh? Near lakes, that is, no, that is nice if it is there. So like near the gutter water, like, this one is going on, Nali, like huge, this one's. Next to that, they put bore because like, nice seepage of water is there over there. And that water actually comes in. And we are all taking that thing. So like from external periphery, the water is now coming inside. And after some time, that place also will become dry. So then hope the city becomes hopeless. So then, shift the place, shift the whole thing into another this one. Anyways, our constructions all will last. Our technology, all the technology, if you analyze, the building construction, how long is the age of the building? So 60, 70 years to 100 years. And if you nicely maintain, maybe 150 to 200 years. So after that, anyway, all the buildings will crash also. So by the time, like, new city, we will start off and things like that. So it is highly demoniac. The way the modern, this one that is going on is highly demoniac. So like one thing that is there is, for the easy usage and to keep the prices low and to easily use. So the natural resources are exploited and they're made into nice products and for us to use. And for us to use and again throw it back also, as quickly as possible. It should also disintegrate, because if it is long lasting, so then how will people buy more things? And if people don't buy things, how will the economy grow? So economy grows only based on buying power of the people, right? So like, so these are all this ones of the modern this one. So like the Vedic system, slowly, we are all Krishna conscious devotees. We should slowly start analyzing these things and slowly start using things which are natural. Stop, like, we should, as much as possible, we should avoid one-use things or like throwable things and things like that. So as much as possible, we should use things which are long-lasting. And then slowly, we should try to do something towards this Varnashrama, where we are also responsible in production. We are also responsible in maintaining, giving back to the nature. So we should. This is something that we have not been taught at all. So like giving back to the nature. We only know like giving back to the nature means like kachra dabba ko feekne ka. That is the only thing that we give back to the nature. So but we should see that it is like a mother. Like mother means, so mother gives so many things to us. So it is not that like, we just simply keep taking from the mother. We should also maintain the mother. We should also care for the mother, right? So that is something that we need to do. And it is responsibility of the devotees. Like others are not even thinking in this direction. Yeah, now there are many social activists who are behind nature and things like that. So they are actually doing so much of activities. But even though they may do activities, without Bhagavad Bhakti, they will not be able to do the right thing. So it is the core responsibility of the devotees who knows like how to perform devotional service. So we should also actually strongly think about how we can actually give back to Mother Nature in a way like which is dharmic in nature, right? So with this, I pause today's discussion. Any questions, comments we can take? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class. You have very nicely elaborated on the purport. So I had two questions, Prabhuji. One, you said regarding accumulation of the disease of accumulating, that mentality has erupted because of the paper currency we have now. Previously, because people saw the grains and cows as the real wealth, so that mentality didn't come. But I was just thinking that gold was also there as one of the wealth, right? So again, there's a chance of that mentality arising. So I'm not able to completely see that mentality not being there at all in the previous.
Yeah, so like gold was also there. So, but that was real money, no, that is there. So right now, also like it is supposed to be like that, where how much of gold is there in the reserve, only that much of money is to be printed. So, but then more circulation also happens. So if there is so much of this one, no, we have Rasanidhi Prabhu is there, he can tell like what is the gold standardization and then how the money, in what proportion the money is printed, and if there is like an economic, this one is there, like low phase is there, what measures are taken. Modern things I don't know much, like maybe Prabhu can throw some light on it. You can give mic to him, so you can. Miss Prabhu. You can speak. Mic.
There is a link between the printing of the currency and the reserves that is held in the Reserve Bank of India. The only exception for this is the United States of America, where there is no correlation at all. Otherwise, there is a link between circulation, money printing and gold. And normally, this is not violated except in exigencies. Of course, I do not remember exactly what is the proportion between the gold reserve a country has and the currency printed, but there is a correlation for that. Except the United States, all the countries in the world, they follow that standard.
So United States don't follow this.
United States don't follow that.
So
they can print any amount of currency. There is no, they are in deep debt today. Actually, the United States debt today, it is $38 trillion.
okay, the whole country
they don't, because the currency, it is universally accepted currency, and internationally all trades that take place on that US dollar, they don't follow that, the correlation between the gold reserves and...
Yeah. So when physical, this one is there, physical gold is there. So like, see, one is, first of all, people were, God-fearing and fearing of Dharma and things like that. So it is, yajna, jnana, tapa and things like that. People would invariably do that. So they would not give it up. Because they were, if my life has to be like very prosperous in the future, I must perform yajna, I must perform dana, I must perform tapa. All these things were inherent in nature. It is just an external feature I was mentioning about the grains and things like that. But otherwise, these are all like core aspects. So, but when the standardization of money came, and which is easier, you can take so much of money in little bit of bunch of paper. So then, in Prabhupada in one lecture mentions that people started accumulating. So with that, so the
other point was regarding that meat eating point you said, right? That it happens because of envy. So my understanding is that it happens because of the desire for that taste, and that basically they choose their own taste over anything else, the pain of others.
We can produce the similar kind of a taste in paneer and other things also, but they will not take it. They have to kill only.
Yeah, but just that envy, basically, that I didn't understand that envy, how that.
So it is there in Bhagavatam itself. This particular this one, that it is out of envy that people actually kill other animals. So then after that, like other external reasons also comes. Taste and other things also comes. Then these days, like if you have to live a healthy life, all the vitamins and things like that, you have to take non-vegetarian and things like that. So these things are there. So but then we may live a healthy life now. What about the future? So it is, we need to have a holistic plan. So it is not that I live nicely now and tomorrow I am just saying that so now I have a little bit of walking issue, and if I take a adharmic medicine, so my leg will become nice, so I can take that. So my vitamins are balanced and things like that. So, but then I am writing it saying that tomorrow my both leg will be like problem. So that is the kind of this one. If it is based on adharma, so then so like future will be like even more troublesome. I may saturate the situation for now, but then what about the future? the thought about the future is completely taken out. So like how you can live now nicely, how I can enjoy and exploit things nicely at this point in time. So that is taken into account, and what happens in the future, that is not taken into account. So that's why, like, this animal killing is definitely a source of serious problems.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, yeah, you brought a very, very valid point, Prabhu. I didn't know that it's in Srimad Bhagavatam that how one should preserve the nature. You rightly brought it to notice. In that case, I would like to narrate one small incident, Prabhu. In my apartment next to me, above me, there is one family which is using that, for example, the air conditioners till 8:30 a.m. in the morning. I was in Bangalore, people using air conditioners till 8:30 a.m. in the morning. Air conditioners, as you know, Prabhu, it consumes again a lot of energy. For the energy, what you have to do? You have to necessarily plunder the natural resources. It is in a way. So, unable to tolerate it for a long time. One day I spoke to that person who was residing there. Why you are using air conditioners till 8:30 a.m. in the morning? That you in Bangalore. Bangalore normally in the morning it is a very cool atmosphere. You know what is the implication of that? It results in concept of a lot of energy. Energy means again the natural resources. So we are having affordability is there. That is another point. But all of us forget that everything is as a bearing on the nature, to which we should definitely contribute. Then the person said, yes, it's very valid point what you told us. I will try to reduce my consumption. So why I'm telling that, every one of us, as Prabhu rightly mentioned, we should give back to the nature. But most of us are not in a position to give back to the nature, because most of us, 99% of the people today are living in apartments. So what we can do to the nature, my mother nature, you cannot plant any trees around you. But at the same time, we can think of planting them within our home, what kind of small plants we can grow. Everything contributes to mother nature, as rightly pointed out by Prabhu. So everyone should do our best to contribute something to the nature in whatever possible way. Any action which results in utilization or exploitation of the nature, we can think of, like, for example, the power. That's what Prabhu highlighted. I wanted to. Also, I request Prabhu also is in the process of constructing a beautiful temple. The temple should be surrounded by fully greens. I request Prabhu. One day I would like to come and see. Fully should be surrounded by nature. We should give provision for the fully. A green cover should be around the temple. That will give you a beautiful look to the temple also. In fact, you might have seen near our Iskcon office, you might have seen now we have grown beautiful jackfruit tree, mango tree is there. So all these things, because something within the limited land available with us, we wanted to grow as a contribution of this temple to the Mother Nature. Thank you.
Hari Hari. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yeah, like as much as we are using electricity and energy and things like that, so much of natural resources are burnt, for that sake. So like previously that huge chimney, this one power generator used to be there, and so much of this one is emitted, so much of carbon is emitted actually. And then nowadays, like, we have different mechanisms. So everywhere there is exploitation of nature is there, and the paying current bill is not sufficient. No, we have not sufficiently paid for the destruction that we have done in the nature actually. So we should see that we should reduce our consumption here, and then as Prabhu was mentioning, like, we should try to do as much as possible, in terms of contributing to the nature within the limited this one. And also we should try to see if all of us can own at least an acre of land somewhere in the countryside, and ensure that acre of land will never become modernized. So that is, these are all different ways we can actually do. Hare Krishna. Any other questions you want to take? Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for nice narrative and explanation. One question, Prabhu, you said about if anyone is offending any Vaishnava, then other devotee who is maybe part of it, not willing to do, but still carries that sin and also responsible for more sins in the region and things like that. So, like in some cases we can do so, but in many cases we feel means maybe we are not in the capacity to do that. So how like
So
directly?
there are different things that are mentioned, no? So like an offense is happening, so either one should walk off or one should like argue and establish what is done is wrong, no? Or like that various options are there. Whichever option is
The
possible. we
last
should-
one is to end your life.
हाँ, तो first one to hai, like, come se kam we let us start with that. Let's not be the witness of some wrong things, no? Like that.
But this also can be like misutilized sometimes, like complaining or finding out faults kind of also, right? So how?
No, that should be, it is, when it is done, no, it should be done for the benefit of other person, not for Vitandavad, like, no, just to establish my point as right or something like that, or to prove him as wrong. So that should not be there. So it should be like based on, no, like out of concern for the other person and out of, no, a necessity to follow our own dharma, no, and things like that. So these are the reasons that needs to be there for doing this act. So then it will be proper. So, but if it is like defending what I have told is right, so then it becomes, then the whole thing goes in different direction.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
Okay. Anyone else like to ask anything? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. I work for a 5-star hotel. So there, like, I carry my lunch box every day from home. No onion, no garlic food. So, but when we talk, we interact with our colleagues, and also they often, when I try to tell them that try to become a vegetarian, and also one common argument from them is that if everyone starts converting to vegetarian, so they start teaching us the economics, and also your demand and supply will go up. So aloo or pyaj jo abhi, aloo or tomato jo abhi 25 रुपया बिक रहा है, so that will become 250 rupees. So we are helping you to maintain the economic balance, and also don't come up with that argument to teach us that convert into vegetarian and all. So slightly somewhere it becomes difficult for me also to convince them, saying that.
So it's, see, like either the demand and supply of non-vegetarian food is going to get affected, or demand and supply of vegetarian food is going to get affected. So, like if the demand and supply of vegetarian food is reduced, so then so much of natural green cover is going to be removed, because uske bina bhi, like, no, udhar industry bana denge, and then still, no, we will have sufficient this one. It is not that ki, like, we can say that the nature can be protected in that way. And second thing is, if you eat more of non-vegetarian food, it is more costlier to actually produce non-vegetarian food. And even in non-vegetarian food, you have to include the, what is that, aloo, tomato, and
Spices
things
and
like that. So, like, it is just a small difference that you are doing. So, like, in little bit of this one, instead of a costly 60 rupees piece of non-vegetarian, this one, like, few rupees, 5-10 rupees ka, like, grains are going to be added in that. So it is not going to make such kind of a difference. No. It is, you're not going to have only meaty meat, like. Right.
That is what they come up with, the economic teachings, and also the other animals and all will become cheaper, and your vegetables and all which you are eating now, that will become
No, animals
costly.
will never become cheaper. Animals, like, if you see grains, you can have stock the grains like anything. You cannot stock the animals. Immediately infection will start. It's a putrefying body. Immediately infection will start. And to maintain it without infection, No, you have to, preservation of meat, it takes lot of money actually. You have to keep in refrigerator, you have to keep it, with lot of chemical treatment and things like that. So much of money is needed just to maintain, preserve this one. No, you just ask them that like so much of grains are there in the home, just take dabba mein dalo, like no, it is pada rahega. But meat, you have to refrigerate. No, without that you cannot have the meat. No, so it is costly at every point actually. If somebody really thinks about calculates economy, he will become vegetarian actually. Correct, no?
Prabhuji, but somewhere they realize that killing of the animals and all is not right and all, but they say that it is there existing, this practice and all is existing in the Hindu culture itself, where the sacrifices of the animals are offered
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
it is
god.
there, it is there. Sacrifice of animals are there, and it should be offered as a sacrifice to, proper procedures, must be followed and offered it as a sacrifice to some devata. Are they doing that?
I mean, say after the Navratri ending, so on the Dasara day or the day of the Dasara.
That day they are doing, throughout the year they are doing. Then what? So, okay, like if you are quoting Hindu scripture, then follow that, no?
I mean, somewhere it becomes difficult for us also to counter them or.
No, what is the difficulty? Just tell them, like, no, you are telling Hindu scripture, it is there, follow that.
Even our Hindus also, they.
See, it is like, this one, you are getting salary every month, from your this one. And then you are making some collection from the customer and सीधा उसमें से ले लो. वैसे भी like, company के पास जाने के बाद, they are giving you. So without depositing to the company, you directly take no money. So if there is like meat eating is there in the scripture, okay, follow it according to the scripture, na? So at least you will come inside the purview of the scripture. Then the scriptures talk about like if you do this, no, definitely you will be absolved from so much of sin, but itna to sin ab lena hi padega. So there is some amount of sin that you have to take, even by following the scriptures. At least, you will be absolved from a huge amount of sins, but a little bit of sins definitely you have to take. Then the calculation comes, okay, how to even avoid this little bit of sin? So then I have to become vegetarian. No, all those things will come.
Okay.
See, first and foremost is to convince people that it is whatever resources are there, it is God given. No? And if we follow dharma, so God can give in abundance. No? It can become like aapka 60, 70 rupees rice can become 5 rupees again. No, it is possible. So if everybody chants Hare Krishna, it can be possible. So there will be abundance of production. If production is more, so then you quote the Sloka of Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. So like if you chant the names of Lord, so then we can bring down the price of vegetarian food. Hare Krishna.